And here we are.
All right.
5:30 Eastern, MLB Lock Show, DFSArmy.com. There, you know what I like? I like the fact that there's a few people already in the comments waiting for us when we get here. That's pretty badass. That means we're on to something. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Go tell your friends and bring more people with you because, I don't know about you, but Tattoo and I love a party. And so if we turn this thing into a party, let's get it on. Speaking of parties, what's up, brother? How are you?
Nervous wreck per usual since I get all the shows on Edmonton games.
You won't be tomorrow.
No.
Because you're not playing.
Because we're not playing. But I am on the show.
Right. So you'll be all right.
Yeah.
You won't be as nervous tomorrow. There, you won't have anything to be, stressing about.
Just game 7 if there's one.
Surely you won't stress about that on day 6 and a half.
No, I will enjoy the time of us forcing a game 7.
Yeah.
Then live it up for game 7.
Well,
I think if we make it to a game 7, I want to do get a bunch of guys together and just do like a live stream and watch the game together and stuff.
Well, that could be fun. It could be fun.
We can't broadcast the game, but we could all just get
Yeah. That could be fun.
Screen and watch together and stuff.
I see Dixon has hot dogs on the grill already, and I mean, so all that means is Dixon, you got to tell people to hit the like button now because hot dogs cook so fast you ain't gonna be here in 5 minutes.
Do you like your weenies burnt, Dixon?
See, I mean, this. All right, everybody, it's already off the rails. Thanks for coming. DFSArmy.com, MLB Live, coupon code down there, 10% off any membership. Free week going on, all that good stuff. I'll probably reference that another time. Yes, we must hit the like button. Thumbs up, comments. The more we pound this thing with comments, I think the more the algorithm responds, and that's a good thing too because we need to grow the show, grow our reach, grow our presence, and show people that we make a lot of money. So let's dive in. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. 12 games today. No Coors. And the weather's interesting. There were some 20 and 30% delay chances, nothing that was going to really transpire into a PPD in like Atlanta and Washington. The game or the
Atlanta
city,
seems like the only concern from what Joey said,
Well, and that's a lot of times getting into Joey's head. He and I've talked a ton. Pop-up thunderstorms this time of year tend to drift. They don't tend to move. And if that's what they're dealing with in Atlanta, that shit blows up over the city. It don't go nowhere. It's a lot like Colorado when the Rockies have that same issue. But that said, their city of Chicago's got 70% chance of delay in both games. St. Louis at the White Sox and then Milwaukee at Wrigley. But Wrigley is a very hittable environment tonight. So that's what's going to make this slate kind of fun.
Yeah.
Do you go in there and take advantage of the humidity and the air density and all that good stuff that is shown on our weather station? I'll actually pull that bad boy up right now for everybody so we can take a peeky peek, see what that looks like. Let's get him up there because the air density, and so at 7 out of 10, I mean, yes, former Athletics, that ballpark, whatever, Tampa Bay, those are great hitting environments as well. But when you're sitting at Wrigley and the wind's blowing out a smidge and you've got hot, humid conditions, it's a good environment too. And in my experience playing golf, when the air is real thick and real sticky, the ball flies. So, and I know that's the case in Florida. I know it's the case with the Athletics as well. Well, it might be a little drier out there, but in Florida for sure. So, I mean, be ready. And tonight will probably not hit any home runs at all. And 10 teams will score 8 runs and nobody will hit any bombs. And that's just the way that goes when we really, really get on the pimp wagon and start trying to tell everybody, to pile into this and pile into that. DFS has a way of making us all look like fools.
Yesterday was really weird. I was talking chat after the slate ended, and it was like there was no must-have stack. I mean, like no team had more than 2 or 3 guys really produce. And I had a lineup, a 5-man Orioles stack, which I got 8 points out of combined, and I cashed.
I was going to say there's no way that lineup cashed.
I came in, I think I ended up 15th place.
So is this where you go on your tirade about small field versus large field GPPs?
Yes. because I had an embarrassment of a lineup in a big field, but playing in a $12.73 entry, which only 68 filled.
Even better.
I had the pitchers. I had Goodman with Baum and Max Kepler as, if you weren't an Oriole, you did my lineup great,
See, that's the whole thing is, and I did this. I showed this in the beginner's room or winning lineups or somewhere last week. Just sometimes I just see something. I'm like, oh, this is a good thing to share with everybody. I had two contests side by side, two different lineups, but they both scored damn near the same amount of points, like 160.2 or something like that. And one was in a small field and one was in a large field. And the large field one got me like 4x and the small field one got me 6x. And I mean, I get it. That's not a big difference in the return, but damn if it doesn't add up over time. And if you're in this thing to hold on to your bankroll and grow a bankroll and get to where you get to play bigger and bigger stakes, you need every 2x you can get. I don't care if it's from 4x to 6x or if it's from 0x to a double up and a min cash. The point is, small fields allow less than perfect lineups to win. So,
yeah, I'll show, like here, if it comes, I doubt it will show up. Probably not. But I'll say I had 109 points last night,
and that's not great.
That was not good, But
and the lineup still cash.
In that contest, it was good enough.
So, Pete hits us with a question right out of the gate. Basically saying that if building stacks, how does the stack icon work for the DS? Will it force the player in all the stacks, and how many players per team is too much? I'm going to take the first part of that or the second part of that, and I'm going to throw it to Tattoo for the other part, because maybe he knows what you're talking about in the DS. But in terms of how many players do you want to stack? As many as possible. The bigger the slate, the more chances offenses are going to go off, and you want to be on those offenses. And it's much, much easier, instead of finding this one off, that one off, this one off, that one off. It's much, much easier to hit that offense that does score 8 runs and have 4 or 5 bats in it. On DraftKings, you're wanting a 5 stack, and on FanDuel, you're wanting a 4 stack. Most of the time, if the slate gets down to 3 games or 4 games, you can maybe start kind of thinking about going down to 4 players or 3 players or something like that. But most of the time, as much as the site will allow, and the reason why also, it produces higher ceilings, it produces higher scores, and the population still isn't doing it. Now, there are people that are doing it. Everybody knows stacking in baseball is important, but not enough people are doing it. So there is still leverage. 8 years down the road, there is still leverage stacking MLB lineups as much as you can. Do you know what he's talking about when he's talking about the icons? He's talking about the little link.
My first thought was the chain to stacking disabled icon, and that icon, that will not do what you're asking. That will only put players in a stack. It won't ever be a one-off. They will only be allowed in lineups that are stacked.
So essentially, it forces them into a stack because it will only use them in a stack. Those that you leave unchecked are going to be eligible to be one-offs throughout the remainder of your lineup. And the key to that, and the reason that I wanted to address this quickly with however many people we've got in here today, I was in a meeting with the dudes, and one of the developer tickets that we've put in that we've actually raised the priority of is getting that stacking chain button to have its own global checkbox, so that we can just go bink and bam, there, all links are all turned on, and then we can go back in and we can uncheck the ones that we want as one-offs, and everybody else will stay in a stack. That is a huge time saver for people that use that feature, because if you go through and you go on a slate like tonight, 12 games, and you go all the way down that lineup and you're going, well, only him in stacks, only him in stacks, only him in stacks. That's going to take you 15 minutes or 20 minutes. The DS is going to refresh 3 or 4 times. You have to reset. It's a mess. So that big old global check, boink, and then go back and uncheck the ones you want is a major time saver. So that's huge. That's good.
I'll do it sometimes for like opposite reasons. If I don't want Judge or Otani or somebody like that to keep getting shoved in as a one-off, and that messes up my 5-man stack, I will like do that to high price guys like Judge and Ohtani. So they have to at least be like a 2-man stack, you know.
Right.
I don't get that high price guy eating up all my salary. And it looks like it's gonna be Judge tonight, and Yankees are, I think, gonna be easy fade for me tonight.
Well, if they, I mean, I don't know about the answer about them waking up now. Since you faded them, they'll probably wait. Nah, wait. Let's call a spade a spade. There's a theory out there in the DFS world that is whispered in hushed corners that the theory is called Oppo Chapo, and it's for a reason. It works in hockey. It works in football. It works in every damn sport I've ever played. That if I start touting a team, they suck. If I say some guy has no chance, boom, 2 bombs. So I ain't saying shit about the Yankees today because I'd like to play them. So take that for what you will.
Let me fall on the sword.
Do it. Yeah,
and
please.
Then, you know, I'll fade them. Y'all can play them. They scored 10 runs for the first time in however long. I mean, they haven't scored many runs in the last week.
No, they have not. And my Cardinals have fallen way off, too. They're not producing for shit either. So, and they're playing the White Sox. Who you got for pitching tonight? I'm going to go to the Carnage report here in a second. But chalk is Brian Wu and then what's-his-face, Warren.
Warren, yeah.
Those are the
I like
two.
them, too, and I like Robbie Ray.
As I say, Robbie Ray was third, but he was such a drop-off from the other two that I felt like, I mean, he kind of becomes probably GPP only.
And, I mean, I refer to Raz, defer, but he mentioned something about really being high on Abbott if his ownership stays so low. He said, like, he was going to go like 6 times the field. So he must really be, you know, high on Abbott.
Yeah, 6 times the field. Well, let's see where Abbott is on the old.
3.
Ooh, he way down the Carnage report. Oh, that might be a GPP. Now, I don't know. Do I trust Razzle or trust the Carnage report?
Well, he's 3%, so I probably wouldn't throw him in my cash lineup, but
no, of course not. And there's no way Razzle's recommending that. I'm looking over here though. 5.5 Carnage number, which is about 6th from the bottom. Expected WOBA is good. It's under 300. ISO against is good. It's under 100, which is great. That's why it's blue. 418 for K score. Those telling me there ain't a lot of strikeout upside in that guy. And for 10K,
yeah,
that feels kind of risky. Now, I if you guys know me, you've heard this show for a few weeks. I'm a very simplistic DFS player. I'm the kind of guy that'll get you like right up to the intermediate advanced level, and then I'm going to turn you loose on the coaches. Razzle's a coach. Razzle knows he digs deeper in the numbers. He knows more than I do about this stuff. That's why I'm the free guy, and he's the premium guy. You know, and your guys like Tattoo and those guys are all on the inside. They share deeper, darker secrets than I do. I'm pretty much an open book, and I think that's why I got pushed off to the free stuff is because I pretty much tell everybody everything. And if you want secrets kept, I'm probably not the guy that you want to know the secrets. Tends to earn me a little bit of trust out there in the world in terms of the DFS world. So that's cool. But yeah, so you see anybody else on there that you want to target? I mean, I'm seeing K scores and such. I can see why Robbie Ray and Will Warren are up there, and Woo's a little low. Ben Brown, I don't know if I want to take on the Cubs and Wrigley.
I do not, especially
with 70% in-game delay chance. So Ben Brown probably got you right off the list.
I mean, maybe Slade can Ciccone.
No, Ciccone. Probably Ciccone. It doesn't matter. I'm not Italian. I'll probably get thrown in the trunk of a car for pronouncing it wrong anyway.
Are they in San Francisco? I can't remember.
I can't remember either. We'll see when we get to the DS page. I got to tell you when.
Yeah, they're in San Francisco.
I'm not here tomorrow. If I ain't on the show tomorrow, it's because I'm in the trunk of a car. Send help. I pronounce his name wrong, and I'm paying the price.
Yeah, they're in San Francisco. So yeah, I like both of those pitchers. 7.29 game total.
Thank you, Phil. Weather's looking better for Chicago games. That's good. That means that number's probably come down some. Actually, a good thing. That means that we lean a little more in the hitting environment in Chicago. So, man, I love having boots on the ground with you guys, and especially when you're in those comments wearing your helmets. That's the best part about it. That way I know I already know you. Otani stealing a base tonight. Good call. Dixon, what's the prop on that? That might be interesting to look up.
He's going to hit 2 home runs tonight, too.
See, now you ain't going to steal a base. You just screwed everybody. Why you got to go do that? He's going to go 0 for 5, wear the sombrero. God, why do you hate people, Tattoo?
I don't know.
Pete said he found the studs not rostered in the other lineups when he hit the icon. So, yeah, the studs would, be checked. You got it right. Yeah, absolutely. So we got that figured out. Implied run total, as we know, has high correlation when it comes to ownership.
Excuse me
but
one second.
Yeah. Do what you got to do. I'll talk to my shadow and my 75 best friends here for a minute. Let me get the share tab on. This is also a good time for you guys to throw in the comments, talk about Tattoo behind his back. I swear he won't see the comments when he comes back. Obviously, when we sort by IRT here, we got a lot of teams. And this I wrote down on the sheets. If I can get this thing on just big enough that we can see the teams and talk about it at the same time. There we go. Almost a 7 for the Dodgers. You got over a 6 for the Yankees. I mean, we all know we've got no confidence in that. Houston over 6. There's Chicago 5.5. Former Oakland 5.4. 5.2 for St. Louis. They haven't been scoring runs lately. Tampa at 5. That might be underdoing it for Tampa in their hitting environment when they're at home. But you go down this list, and these are the correlations with the ownership rankings. And as we point out all the time, when you come over here and you look at Houston being chalky tonight, I mean, chalky for a 12-game slate, what is that really? But they might be a little higher owned. You can probably, what I typically do is I'm looking to knock these teams off. Once I organize them by IRT, I'm just going to come down here and say, okay, goodbye to the Reds. I'll take the pinks. Like I'll take the Dodgers and Yankees. That's fine. I might go down on Yankees a little bit based on recency, but I probably won't be playing much Houston tonight. I'll take my chances, and I'll probably be on just about everybody else. Again, I'm a simplistic guy. That's how I do it. That has never steered me wrong. But through cheat sheets, through what I'm going to ask Tattoo here in a bit, and whatever else, you guys can dive deep and you can pick out those little diamonds in the rough, and you can find those teams that are more for those large field GPPs. This has never gone wrong when I played the nickel, the quarter, the dollar, all those kinds of things. It's a good way to find the best 5 to 6 teams on the slate and have some exposure to them. So it's very non-creative, but it's effective. Tattoo, who do you like? Are you playing Houston? I should say that. Even with them being kind of supposedly the chalk, are you going to play them anyway, or are you going to fade them and go somewhere else?
I have them in tier 2. But with that being said, I only have really one tier 1 team, and that's the Dodgers.
Oh, darn. I was hoping we were going to guess. So it wasn't going to be the Yankees. Dodgers or Cubs.
Well, there's 4 tier 2, so we can guess them.
Well, we can get, if those guys want to, have at it. Dodgers are tier 1, obviously top to bottom. How are you fitting them in there with the pitching? Are you focused more on the middle to bottom part of that order, or are you up at the top and able to punt somewhere else with like a Chicago White Sox or whatever?
Well, since I'll probably 3 max, they might be more in the 2-man side more than anything, just to get a couple of them. But let me look up here real quick at the DS.
Where are Toronto and Arizona playing each other tonight? Are they playing
I think Arizona?
In Arizona?
No, in Toronto. In
Toronto. If that was in Arizona, I was going to say that is some kind of a game to target.
Yeah.
Because holy crap, Fott's numbers are Fott, however you'd pronounce him. He's got the highest carnage on the slate, and he's got a 252 ISO against and a 470 WOBA. That's insane. And we know Arizona can do damage.
The DS spit it out. It's going to give you Ray Abbott with a 4-5 Houston, Yanair Diaz, Christian Walker, then Muncy Betts, Teoscar, Hernandez, Paez, and Conforto. So you get 2, 4, 6, 7, 8.
That thing went Ray and Abbott and still got those bats?
And your one-off was Nick Kurtz.
I was going to say, it better be a punt. If you don't have any money left over, you might have to. I mean, Ray and Abbott are the two 10K pitchers on the slate.
I apologize. The one-off was Lynn Sosa.
It don't matter. I mean, you went 10K at pitching and still got 5 Dodgers. Damn. See, that's why I like the DS. I would never hand build that. I wouldn't even probably try it. Probably just.
And it's a great 2-man.
Who is it?
Yanair Diaz and Christian Walker, 4-5 for Houston.
Wow. Yeah, it's pretty damn strong. Wow. Okay.
Then you got same thing, but you got Salvi Perez as your one-off.
Yeah. Salvi's like a Latin 62.
Yeah.
That dude's just getting crusty.
And then it just changed. Gave you Tommy Edman, who doesn't have a lineup spot on the DS, and then Walker and Dubon, the 4-9, something like that.
Wow, that's really. I wouldn't have predicted that. Dixon says 450 for Ohtani is a good price on that stolen base. I agree. You think he's likely to run now that he's not, or that he is pitching? I don't know. That's going to depend on the coaching. I would go back a couple of years. He still stole bases. He still ran. Maybe not. Maybe not on a day that he is pitching, but I mean, he's always been a 5-tool player, 6-tool if you count pitching. He's been a 5-tool player, so I don't know. I would think he's still going to run. I don't know, maybe throttle back a little bit. I do not have the answer to that question. Astros, Pirates stack. That's on a big slate like this. That's reaching. Good on you if it goes off.
That must be the all-day slate or something.
Ivan's saying Tampa Bay Tier 2. Are they one of your Tier 2 teams?
Yeah.
Diamondbacks, are they one of your Tier 2 teams?
No.
Okay. So we got Tampa in there. Any other guesses, boys? Because you said no to Arizona. Are you doing the Yankees?
They did not make my list.
Okay, well, I'm going to say Cubs.
Who also didn't make my list.
Really? Okay. How about that? Well, who's left? Tampa's in there, Atlanta, Cincinnati, Baltimore, Athletics.
You're sitting there.
Yeah, right. Well, it's leverage tax can help.
Your ass is literally sitting there probably.
Like right in there. Okay, so Athletics.
No.
See.
Physically, your ass is probably sitting in the town.
Oh, it's clearly got to be Kansas City Royals then.
Well, I was
cross-state rival St. Louis Cardinals. I got you. I was trying to figure out. I thought you meant if I was on the right range in the page, or you were going literal geography on me. That's funny. What else? You might as well just name them to me, because I'm just going to go down the list until I get them. But
and I got
so Tampa, St. Louis, Athletics,
Cincinnati,
and Cincinnati.
Baltimore.
Okay.
Toronto. Then I finish it off with Minnesota, Arizona, and Atlanta.
Those are all Tier 3.
Yeah.
All right.
My thoughts have changed somewhat during the day. I did have Tampa Bay higher, but Dean Kramer has pitched well. So it brought me off Tampa just a hair.
See, that's why I like doing it just the way that I do it, where I just fade that top team and just order the top 2 teams and go with the 5 or 6 rest near the top, because I don't have to sweat and go crazy like you guys do. I used to enjoy that hunt, and anymore, I'm just sitting there pulling my hair out and I'm running out of hair.
I want to love Seattle tonight. I just have them sitting there with no confidence rating. And I really, really feel like since they disappointed me so bad last night, I want to go right back to them.
Well, and that's always a good thing in terms of going back to the well. When somebody lets you down, you don't change your process just because of it.
Yeah.
So Don's having a lot of trouble with 4 pitchers he's looking at today. Well, hopefully that helped you out a little bit, Don, the pitchers that we mentioned. With Wu and Warren and maybe Abbott and who the other guy was that you'd mentioned too. Oh, Robbie Ray. And a couple, I mean, and you've mentioned Ray, Wu, Warren, Schwellenbach. I mean, you've narrowed it down to players that are all reasonable. If those are your four, then I mean, rock and roll, man.
Seattle stack gets you Robbie Ray, Abbott, the number 4 hitter Edgar Quero from the Sox, a Rowdy Talese, Polanco, Ben Williamson, Crawford, Randy,
a Rosa Reina.
Yeah, which is a 1, 4, 6, 5, 8 stack, and a Judge Stanton 2-man.
Now, wow. Yeah.
But I'd want to get Cal Raleigh in there.
Yeah, I would too. People kill for that kind of stuff. But I mean, again, do you want Cal Raleigh or do you want Judge? I mean, it's going to cost you Judge or Stanton most likely. It might even shift you off the Yankees and put you somewhere else. I mean, if you pitch me over to the Cubs and give me Tucker and Suzuki, or you pitch me over to anywhere else and give me their 3, 4, 4, 5, 4, 6 type hitters, yeah, I'll take it about anywhere. But Judge and Stanton, if Stanton has any timing at all, is pretty nasty. That thing can go for 4 to 5 bombs just in the two of them.
I need to put this guy on my list here. I forgot to put Cam Smith in my guys. Nice cheap 2,600.
Yeah, well, Dixon, I wouldn't go look up the stolen base prop on Stanton. Lumbering like a moose. He's not fleet of foot anymore. That's for damn sure. Let's see. Nexty. We can do a little dawn call if you want. I mean, I've got my marching orders. It's a big slate. We're going to have to take some stands. We're going to have to, simplify our research. In my opinion, you're not going to get a lot of exposure to everybody. And I always love it when I've got exposure on the right guys and I've got a handful of lineups with those in there in combinations instead of one. I'm not expecting, Milwaukee Brewers to beat me tonight. If they do, I don't think anybody's going to be on them, so I'm not that worried about it. So I'm not playing the larger field stuff. Is at least not a lot, not in single entry and stuff where it's going to really hurt me. So,
I thought I had Vargas on my list. I just saw Dixon mention him. Mm-hmm. I like him tonight too. Oh yeah, I got him in there. 971 OPS, 333 ISO, and a home run over the last week. $2,800.
Yeah, it's good for $2,800 for Shizzle.
And I love Cam Smith tonight. My dinger is Ellie De La Cruz.
Okay. See, now that's another stolen base prop I'd look up.
Yeah.
If you're going home run on him, that's fine as well.
The announcers last night, I think it may have been what triggered my question on X, was the announcers were like, Ellie De La Cruz, if you give him second base, he's going to steal third base like he owns your kitchen.
That's fine. I love it when those guys say something that doesn't really make sense. It sounds really funny.
I was like, what the fuck does that even mean?
It sounds really funny coming out of their mouth. It flows, and you're like, oh my god, that's really funny. Wait, what? It didn't.
But yeah, I love the bias of home announcers.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, like John Kruk is so unapologetic.
Baseball in general, so much dead time. All they got to do is just sit there and just kiss everybody's butt.
I miss. I tell you, it was. John Davis used to be the guy for the Orioles, and now he's with the Giants. But that's just like the voice of my childhood. Listen to him call baseball. John Miller,
Oh, John Miller. Didn't he used to do ESPN too, like Sunday night? Am I thinking right?
Yeah. He was local Orioles, and then he, did all that stuff, and now he's like the Giants play-by-play.
He did it with he might have even done it with Joe Morgan at the time.
I think so. I think he may have.
Joe Morgan used to drive me nuts because Joe Morgan, I watched in the same pitch sequence call The pitch came at the guy's butt and cut across the inside corner of the plate. And he said, no, actually it came the other way first. Came off the plate like a Greg Maddux and came back in on the outside corner. He said, backdoor breaking ball. And I'm like, of course, sure. And then the next pitch came off the guy's butt and cut the inside corner. You said, another backdoor breaking ball. I'm like, dude, that went right in the front door. It can't be both back doors. And I was like, you're a freaking Hall of Famer, Joe. You're a Hall of Famer. You're just in here just doing one of these and just watching the game and just you don't even know what you're saying. I was like, because if you knew what you were saying, you would have caught that one. Some producer in his ear should have been like, oh, Joe. That was terrible.
Whoever told you McLean is faster than Ellie needs to be locked up. My neighbor's son plays for Cincinnati, but he's hurt, and he said Ellie looks like a gazelle when you're in practice. Just it doesn't even make sense how fast this guy is.
Some of those dudes, man. They just. I watched Terrell Owens. How old is he now? Late 40s, maybe.
Yeah, gotta be.
I watched him race Tyreek Hill in a 40-yard dash on Twitter. Now, granted, Tyreek did a 60-yard dash, but Terrell still beat him with a 20-yard head start. Neither one of them looked like they were trying.
Yeah,
and they just glide across, just seamless, like they're on cruise control. I'm like, and if I'm standing next to these guys, they're running by me like NASCAR. Just shit. What was that?
Pac-Man ran a 40 on Pat McAfee like 2 years ago, and he's like, I guess he's right around 40 or something like that, and he ran like a 4.2 or 4.3.
God, I don't know if any of anybody listening had this, or if you had this type of thing. I was always above average speed wise. Like I was kind of fast as a skinny little twerp, right? And when I would run, if somebody would be catching up to me, now I'm not like track and field and all that, not against those guys, but against the average playground high school guy. If somebody was starting to catch up to me, then I could find that extra gear and just go, and then kind of find a little bit more speed if I really needed it. I raced my brother probably 10 years ago or so now out in front of his house, and I could always beat him. Always beat him. My little brother, I could always beat him. Well, yeah, now I'm 40, whatever, and he's 37. And he's, age is going to level that off. We got out of the blocks. I took him out. I got 10 yards out in front of him, and I'm just going. And I see him on my peripheral. Here he comes. I reached for that extra gear. It's not there anymore. It's gone. It was just like I was already redlining at my RPM. So I was like, this is it for me. And he just went right on past me. I was like, damn. And he said, hey, you want to race again? I said, nope, I'm retired. I've got one loss on my record book.
When I was 21 and, 6 foot, 195 pounds, like linebacker size, I was fast, but not.
You're
really
fast for a big guy.
I could jump.
Yeah, you're fast for a big guy.
Because I went to a gym with like an Olympic trainer, and he used to always like, you got great fast twitch muscles. You got great fast twitch muscles. And so I could 6 foot white guy, I could dunk a basketball.
Oh, damn. I never got to dunk. I got a volleyball once. Couldn't get a basketball.
The hardest part was my hands are too small to palm it.
Mm-hmm. That's why I could get a volleyball.
Yeah.
I could never get a basketball up there. I threw that basketball off the top of the backboard trying to slam that thing down more often than anybody.
Well, let me apologize then. When I say slam, I don't mean a basketball. I could slam a smaller soccer ball, a volleyball.
Okay.
And I could get up there and hang from the rim.
Yeah.
But basketball, I can't get, that high above the rim.
I don't know if I could ever get two hands on the rim without using the one to grab and pull the other one up there. But power forward and couldn't dunk. That hurts, Don.
Use the chain and pull it up.
I've got a nephew like that. He's 14, so maybe he'll grow and be able to dunk, but he's already about 6'3", and he can't dunk it yet. And I'm like, dude, you bet you're gonna cap out at high school if you can't get above that rim. You better go.
You're in no games, I promise you.
It's just funny. I think I owe people a couple of Don calls. I saw something on Swish today for the BVP that was interesting. Matt Olson against Peterson, 4 bombs. Now he's only got 4 hits off the guy, all bombs. Like, that's cool. 4 for 20, whatever.
I think I put that on my list. I was like, he's 3 for 13, but all 3.
Yeah. And Schwarber's the same. Schwarber's like 3 for a decent sample, and all 3 are bombs against his pitcher tonight. And then Jansen, that's if he even makes lineup. I haven't seen that name in so long, but he's 2 for whatever, and he's got 2 bombs against. So I thought it was really interesting that a few of the guys with multiple bombs off their pitchers, that was literally the only hits they had against the guy in their entire careers.
Ozuna's
boomer
3
bust.
for 7 with 2 bombs. Gunner's 7 for 15 with 2 bombs.
Gunner's my call tonight. I have a funny feeling. The dude smashes. Who's he pitching? I can't remember off the top of my head.
Little.
7 for 15 or whatever, 2 bombs. He got a 1450 OPS across a decent sample size. I mean, come on. That he sees the ball well out of that guy. So
I mean, Altuve is 9 for 23 with 2 bombs.
He was up there too.
I think my bong was. I'm trying to think of who the last person was.
I want to see what some of the audience says. Who do you guys got? I mean, if you guys got some home run props and you're playing, because I saw the Herrera.
Ivan had one, yeah.
Yeah, I saw the Herrera Paredes parlay call out of Ivan. I thought it was pretty good. That's pretty sharp. If you guys have some other stuff, I mean,
Kyle Schwarber and Corbin Carroll.
Yeah, Carroll's always a pretty good call. And we, let's kind of like you guys do with the staff contest and whatnot. We don't need to do Judge or Ohtani or Schwarber, really. I mean, I mentioned Schwarber because he's 3 for 3, but I mean, these are the guys that are going to probably lead the league come September. And, they should hit bombs. When? I don't know. That's part of the deal, but we don't need to pick them every day. Try and get a little off the radar. Walker and Houston go yard. That's your.
While it is a contest, it does our VIPs no good to pick Judge and Ohtani.
Right. Absolutely. That's why you don't. So we got Walker and Houston going yard for you.
Did you see Zach Neto's
catch
last night?
I did. That was pretty sick. I looked down. I don't know what I was watching.
I was watching Big Inning, so I watched 3 or 4 games.
Yeah, I love that. I love that little thing. That's red zone for baseball. I was scrolling my phone or something like that, and then my notifications blew up, and Nito, big catch, Nito with a Nito catch or whatever. And I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, what is this? I saw the highlight. Like, oh, yeah, that's worthy.
I like Houston. I mean, I like Walker. I like Austin Riley.
Yeah, those are good calls. All good calls. And, when it comes to you guys, backing it up with numbers and stuff is great. But when it comes to the rest of us, in comment land, just throwing names out there works. I mean, hell, I told you last night was a long shot for me with Trey Turner.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Hat tip to the crowd. Take my victory lap. Kepler got one too for Razzle.
He told me a bunch of guys like got all these home run parlays, and he got a bunch of them, but none of them in the same parlays together.
Oh, that always blows.
Yeah, he did help me yesterday because I was building my lineup and he kept harassing me. He's like, "Don't play Nick Castellanos. Put in Max Kepler.
You know what?
I was like, I like Max Kepler tonight, so I will listen to you, which afforded me Hunter Goodman. So that was the only reason I cashed last night. So
that reminds me, at the very beginning of the show, Dixon asked, "What's he hearing about Castellanos being out?" Because he said something. Some kind of a suspension or something that I didn't know. I don't know anything. I'm asking you to see if you heard it. Dixon's asking the question because he thought he heard something. I don't know. I didn't see squat, and it wouldn't. I don't know. These days, it doesn't surprise me. I mean, say anything about anything.
Nick Castellanos is trending.
Well, there could be smoke where there's fire.
Don't let Nick
fire where there's smoke.
Benched for making an inappropriate comment to his managers distracted from the fact.
Is that lineup confirmed yet?
I haven't seen it.
That would be the thing to look at. Run down starting lineups page, look for Philly, and see if he's confirmed in. My little lineup page would load. And honestly, if you guys have questions, now's the time. But I think we've about covered it. tonight. And Castellanos is not in the lineup, and it is confirmed.
I wonder what he called his manager.
Turner, Schwarber, Bohm, Kepler, Realmuto, Stott, Kemp, Marsh, Rojas. No Castellanos. Well,
I mean, in all honesty, he's not that great.
no, but it's an interesting thing if people were counting on him as like a fourth or fifth piece in their stacks or something like that. That it makes a little bit of a difference.
He's more entertaining than he is good at baseball.
Yes. One of my favorite bomb calls. Every time I just like the name. Every time I see him, he's done. I've got a couple of guys that are just have selective bias in my brain, and Yaz is one of them. And I came across one last night. I can't remember who it was, and I was just like, the guy I just timed him well. Who was it? It was former Cleveland Jimenez, Andres.
Oh yeah.
I was like, dude. I was like, every time I pick him and throw him in my DFS lineups, 2 stolen bases out of nowhere, whatever. I'm like, it's sweet. Gunnar and De La Cruz, yep, absolutely. And I've got one that I can't ever time up for nothing. And it's Christian Yelich. Hate that guy.
The Orioles drafted Mike Yastrzemski.
Mm-hmm. Shipped him out to the Giants.
For, Bowie. But like on a kind of off subject, like favorite baseball players, we were talking about Nick and somebody I always loved. He's an Orioles fan, but one of my favorite players ever is David Ortiz.
Big Poppy.
I mean, I just love him. I mean,
just the way he smiled and the way everything just was like just a happy dude that.
Yeah, his smile is infectious.
I get it.
And then I always hear him saying, "This is our fucking city."
Yeah, and I kind of tell you, man, he can have it because I love Boston as a city, but he was on that 04 Red Sox team that nuked my Cardinals, so he can.
Yeah.
He could take a riverboat down to New Orleans. There's a few of those Yankees,
more importantly.
There's a few of those guys. Yes, it's true. But there's a few of those guys that I just can't ever get on board with. Real Muto is another good call out in Philly.
Now we just need to see some home runs tonight.
I don't know if that's late your mom. I'm guessing it's I ate your mom, which. Yeah, this is something. Locally, we have a radio show, and they have some of the most creative flipping names you've ever heard in your life. I ate your mom. I think that is just funny. And, I mean, I don't even care if it's true. It's just funny. I don't take offense to these things. Bobby Bonilla, favorite player. Don Bobby Bonilla in the endless contract. He did a small stint here in Cardinal land, too, and I was just like, what are we bringing a Met over here for?
There's another guy, and for whatever reason, I cannot think of his name to save my life, who I loved. He played for Baltimore, but he played for everybody. Cruz is his last name.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Cal Ripken.
Oh, I mean, that's God. But it's a guy Cruz, and I just cannot think of his first name to save my life. But he played for everybody. Played for Seattle, played for the Orioles, and just right now, I just can't think of his name.
Those guys are fun. The journeymen are playing Nelson
Cruz.
Bing! Oh, everybody's coming in with that one. So here, look at that. Bam. All the comments. Here's the secret. I just figured out the secret to YouTube. We just got to come on here and say wrong shit.
Yeah.
Struggle. Yeah, be the dumbasses with a camera and a mic.
Ivan is going to be part of our NHL podcast crew next year. We'll get him on some.
Nice. Good shit. Okay, so Ivan already knows this, but tip number 1, tell people to stack.
He knows hockey.
I know he does.
Yeah.
I know he does.
I mean, he's a Kings fan, so he don't know much about winning hockey.
He doesn't know good hockey.
Yeah.
He just knows hockey. What a rip. Yeah, you're right. Birds should never let him go, Pete.
I know. Christian Walker, Orioles.
That I don't know. That about does it for me. Do you have any other deep, profound thoughts without going into like Star Wars and the Yoda verse or anything?
Yeah, I don't get into all that Star Wars shit. I know, Ivan.
You're an evil human being for not liking Star Wars. I don't know anybody that
I
doesn't
don't dislike Star Wars. I just don't give a shit. Like I saw the original 3 when I was a kid, and I have not had a single interest of watching them since, or the new ones.
Those are the only ones that matter. Everything else is just all a money grab. None of the other stuff matters to me. I don't care. If they start coming up, that's why the Spaceballs 2 is coming back. I don't care. Spaceballs was great. I don't need to see this. I don't need to see 70-year-old Rick Moranis or any of this. It doesn't. No.
But speaking of just off, has anybody come in like Ivan and just instantly become ingrained in our culture? Like he just like from day one. I think our first conversation, I told him I fucking hated him for the next 2 weeks because the Oilers were playing the Kings.
Oh my God, that's funny.
That was like our introduction. I was like, "Hey, welcome." Yeah, I fucking hate you.
Right, and that's the only way. That's the only way that we greet people around here. It's a funny community, and to be honest, I'm glad that everybody in here is a part of it. I hope that if somebody's sitting out there in comment land, this is the type of
is a great friendship. You just talk shit to each other, and nobody gets their feelings hurt.
For lack of a better word, fuckery that just goes on in the Discord 24/7, all the time, and it is just people being friends and helping people learn what they learn and play better DFS.
I think people come in NHL chat probably think me and Sean Hoy hate each other.
Probably do.
But we're like great friends, and we just fucking go at each other constantly.
People felt the same about Wonder Woman and some other stuff. Like I used to get complaints about Wonder Woman because he's got a little bit of an edge to him.
He's all edge.
But once you really edge like a dull razor blade, if you get to know some of these people and realize that that's just kind of who they are, then all of a sudden none of it offends anybody anymore, and you're just like, that's so and so just being so and so, and that's
I've never seen anything blatantly personal, or to hurt someone.
Those people don't last. Those people get the boot.
I mean, it's not in me. I mean, it's not how I was raised to hurt other people.
Right. Well, and to be honest with you, the moderators, whatever, we police that group pretty hard. If anybody starts attacking coaches or attacking other players or get really into it, get really personal, boom, they're gone. They might be given some kind of a 24-hour timeout, but then they do it again, they're gone. We've booted a handful of people because of that stuff. So I guess this is kind of what I'm trying to say for people that are inside, you guys know, but for people that are maybe outside looking in that want to take advantage of that free trial or want to use that MLB Live coupon, what's free trial? Summer 25. That's free week. You get in here, you make some friends, you find some like-minded people, and the next thing you know, you're going to find this community is literally like no other that you'll find on the internet.
I've made lifelong friends. I mean, obviously.
Yeah. You will not find it on the internet. I've been parts of other forums and subreddits and all this sort of stuff, and this place is utopia.
As amazing as our tools are, our coaches, the community is really, really, really what makes
100%. 100%. That's what keeps people around. It's what sells a place, and it's what can't be. And that culture comes from the top, and it started, 8-10 years ago when a bunch of us just kind of started talking DFS and decided, hey, how far can we take? What can we do with this thing? And then we find a way to monetize it, and here we are. Whatever. It's turned into. I don't know, turned into a dream for a ton of us, and apparently 110 of us who are here watching. But that's it. I'm going to let it go for Tattoo, for Chop It On, for DFS Army as a whole, and the entire community. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being part of it. And if you guys got any questions
tonight,
if you guys got
my sanity,
if you've got questions, head into the Discord and ask them there. If you've got complaints, or I was going to say, if you've got heckles, go find you in about 2 hours.
But I want to give a shout out. I believe I got to get my head straight that it's Madness who has been giving out like a core every night for the NBA finals.
Mm-hmm.
And I suck at NBA, and I took down a showdown the other night with like a single bullet. And I have cashed every night. He posted like 20-30 minutes before game time, just killing it.
Shout that baby out on Twitter too.
Yeah, I got.
He gets some views.
You got to shout him out.
tag him and shout out. And that's another thing, guys. We're teammates here. We want everybody to do well. Members, teammates, everything. That's the whole point of the community, which we've been raving on for a few minutes. But yeah, cool. Have fun tonight, and everybody else, helmets up. Let's make a lot of money, and
Let's go.
I guess you'll be back tomorrow. So me and Tattoo will see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
All right. See you, peeps.
Later.